So we'll do some very gentle movement. And as I say, you can do this sitting down or standing up. But it may also be that you would like to remain still, and that's absolutely fine. So you can, if you're sort of remaining still, you can work in any way that feels comfortable for you. You might like to just focus on your breathing, or have an anchor point like your hands or your feet. And you can have a sense of following the guidance, and just working with whatever feels comfortable for you. Okay, so if you're stood up, and even if you're seated, you can bring your attention into your feet first of all, and you might like to have the feet hip width apart or slightly wider. So just explore here what feels comfortable. So you want your stance to be comfortable and so that you can feel fairly balanced. And we'll start off standing here. So it may well be that your attention naturally comes into the body when we're standing. Because although we've got the firmness of the floor, we haven't got the firmness of the chair where we would normally be seated upon. So this kind of brings a different dynamic to our practice, and a different dynamic for the attention. So you may find that your attention naturally comes into the body because it has this sense of there's, in a way, when even though we're standing still, excuse me, there can still be this sort of constant flow of movement, and it can be very tiny, very subtle. And you might notice it around, particularly in the feet, a bit in the legs. So just as an experiment here, just seeing if you can become completely still. Just see what that's like. Are you able to become completely still with, wow, very little movement or no movement? So I think for me, what I'm noticing is that even though I'm standing as still as I can still feel a sense of pulsing, some vibration. I can feel a sense of heat in certain parts of the body. And I can almost start to feel a little tremor in the legs. So it's very interesting. We can start to become very aware of these sort of tiny movements, vibrations, if you like, in the body. However, by standing stock still or trying to be as still as I can, I'm finding that there's a bit of tension in the body. So just noticing what's true for you. So I'm finding there's a little bit of tightness in my shoulders. And actually, when I was trying to be completely still, I noticed I was almost holding my breath. My breath became very shallow. Okay, so just to, we're going to release that sense of being really still. And what I want you to do is just to bring a little bit of movement to the body. And it doesn't really matter what it is, but just a sort of a bit of a wave. And you might just move the arms. Just sense of kind of perhaps moving side to side. So bringing some deliberate movement into the body. Just moving in a way that feels comfortable. We're not overstretching. But perhaps sort of touching in, tapping into each part of the body. So you kind of bring a little bit of movement to the head, maybe even the face. A bit of movement into the neck. Some movement into the shoulders. Some movement into the arms, the hands, and the fingers. We can move some into the chest, some movement into the chest and the back. So we're just sort of working through the body, just honouring each part of the body, bringing a little bit of movement, say into the waist. Into the front of the body, the back of the body, into the hips. And then feeling the movement in your legs. So you can sort of have a sense of, yeah, I can feel some muscles moving in the upper legs. Bringing some movement into the knees. Feeling some movement in the lower legs. And then into the feet. You might just sort of stretch each foot out. Maybe raising the toes, maybe raising the heels. Okay. Bit of a sort of shake. Okay, so just start to slowly slow the movement down. And we're going to come into this sense of stillness, but we're going to keep the body soft and relaxed. So we're not going to come back into this sense of being stock still. We're going to allow for any freedom of movement. Okay. So feeling the feet flat on the floor. And just see where you notice most of the weight. Perhaps if you're feeling all the weight in the heels, maybe just shift forward ever so slightly. So you can kind of feel a balance between the balls of the feet and the heels. And the same the other way. If you've got too much pressure in the balls of the feet, Just shifting the body ever so slightly backward. So seeing if you can feel a nice balanced sensation in the feet there. So of course we're going to be bringing some very subtle movements here to feel that sense of balance. And then bringing your attention up into the legs. And you might want to have a very slight bend in the knees, just so the legs are not straight, meaning they're kind of tight and straight. So just sort of softening in the knees. Just brings a very slight bend and takes any pressure out of the knees and just relaxes the muscles, particularly in the backs of the legs. So as we're standing still now, you might still feel some movement, still in the feet, still in the legs, just as the body's constantly adjusting itself to hold our weight up and balancing it out with that sense of gravity. And of course within the body we're using our core muscles that are pretty much always contracted, I believe, in terms of keeping us upright. I guess it might be slightly different when we're lying down. So now bringing your attention into your pelvis, and you might want to again here very slightly, and it may have happened when you softened your knees. It's almost like just tucking the tailbone in, so we're not sticking our bottom out to the back, but just sort of sitting the pelvis nice and squarely. And we're going to see if we can soften the muscles around the belly. But it will be different compared to when we're sitting down. So we'll definitely have some core muscles engaging around the abdomen and around the hips. That's keeping us tall. So where we feel the belly expand might feel different. So just noticing where you feel the breath in this position. And of course, if you're seated, you can still be following us as we work up the body here. Just noticing the sensations. So, whatever position we're in, we can still have this sense of lengthening in the spine. We might tuck the chin in ever so slightly so that we can stretch the back of the neck there. Feeling that length in the spine around the neck and the head. So it's just having a moment just to kind of notice the bone structure here. So we've got the feet, the legs, the pelvis, and then the spine, and then we can become aware of the rib cage. which is moving in and out, or expanding and deflating with each breath. We've got these core muscles all inside, particularly up the spine, and then linking the pelvis up into the ribs. You might have a sense of your heart beating as you feel a little bit of pulsing and vibration in the body. And then bringing your attention up into the shoulders. Get a sense of the shoulder blades, the shoulder joints, perhaps the clavicle here, bony bits at the top of the chest. And just to support a sense of opening up in the front of the body, let's bring just a little bit of movement into the shoulders. So just squeezing the shoulders forward so you can feel that nice stretch in the upper back. And then rolling the shoulders up to the ears. Nice squeeze. And then rolling the shoulders back and down, nice and steadily. Almost so you can feel your shoulder blades sliding down the back of your body. And then seeing if we can keep this opening in the front of the chest. And then allowing the arms to just drop down from where the shoulders are positioned. And just allow yourself to adjust and wiggle here. Because we don't want the shoulders to be forced, but seeing if we can relax them down into a comfortable position, but with this slight opening up in the front of the body. And as you do that, just becoming aware of the arms, just hanging by your side or resting by your side or resting in your lap. Again, having a sense of the arm bones, wrist bones, all the bones in the fingers, hands. And then bringing your attention up into the head and the face. Having a sense of the skull under your skin. So then just for a moment, having a sense of your skeleton in this position. There's still the movement from the breath. So we can even have a sense of the skeleton moving. And because of this, some of this gentle pulsing and vibrating, there'll be other movements in the bones. There might still be a gentle swaying for you. There might be still some kind of balancing and adjustment going on in the feet, the legs. And now I want you to bring your attention into the muscles. So see if you can imagine this sense of the muscles all around the bones. And then just say to yourself, soften. Seeing if you can allow all the muscles to soften around the bones. Don't worry about those core muscles. They'll keep us strong, keep us tall, keep us upright. But the outer muscles around the buttocks, around the shoulders, some in the legs, around the tummy, particularly in the face, We can soften all those muscles. Now, of course, at any point, if you want to come back into a seated position, by all means do. It may be that after standing for some time that you're feeling a little bit of shaking in the legs. And that's okay, it's just the body again, just adjusting. We're not probably used to standing like this for a period of time, unless we do particular classes that involve that. So just taking care of your needs as well. We don't want to be overstraining the body or putting it under too much stress or pressure. So if you need to sit, even lie down, that's absolutely fine. But if you're okay, just for a little bit longer, keeping the attention in the body. Feeling the body breathing. You might be starting to experience some very strong sensations, maybe in the feet, the legs. Just seeing if you can keep softening down. And you might even take a few deeper breaths here and there. And you could have the eyes closed or the eyes open. Moving between the two. So just as we did in the first practice, just sensing the body here, resting in the sense of stillness amidst all that's around you and even within you in terms of your thoughts, emotions, sounds, sense of space around you, sensations. And here you are, resting in the middle. Okay, just a couple more breaths here. And then the invitation is to bring a little bit of movement back into the body, maybe just a gentle sway from side to side. And what we're doing is we're just bringing some energy back into the feet. You might want to gently rotate the wrists, shake the fingers out, move the arms a little bit. And then also with the feet, just making sure you've got something to hold on to, and maybe just bringing a little bit of shaking into the feet, into the legs. Just one at a time. A little bit more shaking through the body, just again, whatever feels comfortable. Nothing too extensive here. And then the invitation is to use that movement now to guide yourself back into a seated position. So just taking your time, finding your chair again, finding your seat, keeping very mindful of each movement. Coming into feeling the feet on the ground. Feeling the legs and the buttocks connecting with the chair. Keeping that length in the spine. That length in the back of the neck. Keeping that openness in the front of the body. And resting the hands wherever feels comfortable. They might even remain at your side. Or you may place them in your lap. And you can rest here with your attention in the body, feeling the sensations, feeling the body breathing. Just noticing how the body feels after a period of standing, some movement in the body. Again, doing whatever you need to do here, whether you need to take a few deeper breaths here or there. Having a sense of your skeleton, of the bones, now in the seated position. Notice how your balance is. And then with each breath, softening around the frame. And perhaps you even bring in a gentle smile to the mouth. And once again, feeling yourself resting in the midst of all this experience that you're aware of. Resting in this spacious awareness. Continuing to soften on each out-breath. And then bringing your attention to notice the body breathing. Taking a moment then to feel the feet on the ground. Feeling your seat in the chair. Feeling your hands resting in your lap. And the gentle rise and fall of the belly as you breathe in and out. And then together we'll notice the breath for a breath in and a breath out. And we'll bring this practice to a close. So taking your time as you shift from the practice, bringing in some gentle movement to the body, opening the eyes when you feel ready, and taking a moment to notice your surroundings. Get a sense of the space that you're in. Lovely. Thank you for your practice.